Discuss all of this now with Brendan Kearney. He's a retired colonel and military affairs analyst joining us from Santa Rosa in California. Thank you so much for your time. So Ukraine says it now has this updated peace plan. It's centered to the United States. However, the same complications will probably be there, all coming down to territorial integrity and the land that both sides want.
You're exactly right. I think the differences that existed a month ago, that existed over the last couple of years, continue. The Ukrainians are very, very interested in security guarantees. They are not interested in rewarding aggression. And quite frankly, I think most of Europe supports the Ukrainian position as opposed to President Trump, with a laudable, laudable effort on his part, is still pushing to achieve something when we've got to do the right thing. That's the most important thing here.
When you say we have to do the right thing, what is the right thing in your opinion in this case?
Well, I think, first of all, the ultimate goal is to cease hostilities. So there's number one. Number two is, in order to cease the hostilities, there has to be a series of agreements. One is to guarantee the security of Ukraine. The second is to go ahead and develop some mechanisms that incorporate a Russian withdrawal from some of the occupied territory. And the reason I say some is there may very well be portions of eastern Ukraine that, in Ukrainians' best interest, they may not want to get back. And that's simply because a lot of those places are ethnically occupied by the Russians right now, and have been for the last decade. So, you're just going to have to go ahead and see what the Ukrainians want to do. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, and it does seem that the Ukrainians at this point, according to President Zelensky, are looking at elections, the possibility of actually holding them if their security guarantees can be upheld by the United States and their other allies. It would seem at this point, according to our correspondent in Kyiv, that Zelensky is still popular among people. But is he up against any real opposition here, considering that he has taken the country through this war and continues to lead them through it?
Well, he is popular, but he also does have some reputations as a bit of a bully within Ukraine itself. However, I have not heard of anybody who is really going to pose a major electoral challenge to Zelensky. So we're going to have to wait and see. We all get surprised about elections. That's the benefit of democracies. So we'll just have to wait and see as to how this all does turn out here with the passage of time.
And with all this diplomacy that is underway, we have to still look at what's actually happening on the battlefield, particularly in the eastern parts of Ukraine. It's difficult to say at this point because it changes so often, but does either side really have an upper hand at this stage?
Well, you hit the nail on the head again. It is difficult to say. What you hear from the Russians is one thing, and what you hear from the Ukrainians is another. That battlefield situation is best described as fluid, but it has involved over the last months a very, very little shift in territory. The one thing we do know is that the Russians continue to suffer extraordinary casualties. And here we are about to get into the depths of winter, which is going to make combat even harder and more brutal. But it's a very fluid situation. I don't see any big breakthroughs on either side's part. This is going to continue on through the winter, and then we'll see what the warming weather come late March and early April brings to Ukraine.
Very fluid situation indeed. Anything could happen, especially over these winter months. Colonel Brendan Kearney, a military affairs analyst. Good to get your take. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Talk soon.